Hey everyone, Dr. Josh Matson here with Infinity Chiropractic Center. I'm going to talk about a few of the most common reasons we see kids that have bedwetting issues, why they still have them persistent, and a few simple things you can try to see if it'll help them. Okay, so the number one reason why we see in our practice, we see a lot of kids that have bedwetting issues that have gluten sensitivities. And so a lot of times just by simply taking gluten out of their diet and working on a few other things, some reflexes that shouldn't be there and whatnot that we'll talk about, that'll improve dramatically very quickly when that's the main reason. Another thing that can be going on is a lot of kids still have a retained primitive reflex called the spinal galant reflex, and it's a reflex where if you stroke up the kind of pretty close to their spine, you stroke up like this, what you'll see is they'll start curving towards that side. If you do the other side, they'll curve towards that side. You may see it on one side or both sides, but it'll look like they're ticklish, but every single time you do it, they curve and it gets kind of bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's a reflexive movement towards that side that you're stimulating. It should go away in about 3 to 4 months, and a lot of kids don't drop it and don't get rid of it, and every time that they roll over in bed, they stimulate that reflex, which activates their bladder and causes them to have nighttime issues. The other thing, a lot of times kids that have bedwetting issues aren't breathing efficiently at night. So at night when you, what happens, and you'll see it in there when they sleep, is their mouth will be wide open and they'll be breathing through their mouth all the time. When you do that, you don't get good regulation of CO2 and oxygen. And when you get rid of too much CO2, what happens is you can't release oxygen. Your red blood cells can't release oxygen to your brain. Your brain doesn't get enough oxygen, can't function appropriately, and therefore you get nighttime micturition issues. Things that we do in the office to help kids with this: number one, we change their diet. In a lot of cases, that is a big thing. We work on their cranial system to get them more oxygen, help them retrain their breathing so they start breathing through their nose efficiently and start regulating that CO2 and oxygen levels. And then also there's some different eye tracking activities that you can use to help activate their brainstem that helps them to regulate that, and then have them do some practicing stuff at home, like holding their bladder for extended periods of time, so they activate their brainstem repetitively over and over and over during the day, and you can retrain the ability for them to start to hold their bladder, and then use some eye tracking activities to help them activate the same area of the brain at the same time. So if you guys have any questions on that, let me know. But just a few easy things for you. Start by changing their diet. There's a book called Close Your Mouth that it helps you to retrain their breathing patterns, which has helped a lot of kids with bedwetting. And lastly, there's some specific eye tracking stuff you can do. So if you have any questions on that, I can give you some instructions. Have an awesome day, and talk to you later.